Honestly, it's been really good throughout the tournament. I find that as tough as it's been behind the scenes, there has still been a team behind. There's been teamship behind the performances. So that was never the issue. There was never anything behind the scenes that wasn't working. It was purely a case of us not being good enough to beat teams and us letting ourselves down on some other occasions. And we've also been outplayed one or two times, but we've really tried to enjoy it. But in saying that, it's difficult to enjoy it all the time when you're not getting the performances that you want, So then we try and get away from the game to make sure that there's still a bit of fun away from the game. So it was really good to see that we could enjoy ourselves on the field today as well. Yeah, well, I think chasing 200 is obviously a little bit easier than chasing 330. So that is, by starting your innings off, it's a completely different game. You can bat towards your own tempo. Dwayne bowled well today. So the bowlers, after the first 6 overs or so, the bowlers did a really good job, and they put their skills together. I can't give you the answer why it didn't happen before. Just today was Dwayne didn't play the previous games, so maybe under English conditions he worked really well today, and our plan was, especially on this wicket, the slower the bowler, the harder it is to face. So it worked out perfectly that he was the guy that was going to be successful. And then with the bat, I've been saying it a lot, the guys have been batting well, but only for short periods. And the basics of batting, once again, if you get in someone to bat through the innings, then it becomes easier. So it's just probably doing the basics better today than we've done in the tournament. I can't say. It looks, if you look at the facts, it looks like that. But it's just, we just put it together today. I thought, you mentioned it, our bowling was working toward, the last 2 games, there's signs of good bowling and then signs of poor bowling. We've chased almost 300 every game. I think 80% of the games has been high scoring games where we're chasing and that's a different beast in a World Cup when you're chasing a big score. Like as I said, today is the smallest score. So I think even if we were still in it, chasing 200, it's a far easier task than it is chasing a big score, because you're facing against scoreboard pressure. You're looking up and the rates at 9s or 10s, and you've got to make a play. So I think today was whether this was before or today, it would have been the same result. We bowled really well, restricted them to the score and chased it down clinically. So there's learning for bat, both, and ball, that we haven't been good enough with bat or ball at different stages through the tournament. No, definitely. I think it's crucial, especially for a team like us, in tournaments like these, that you need to start well. If you start well, your confidence in your team will grow, and then from there anything is possible. But to start the way we did, obviously you come here already with the expectation of needing to do well, and then you go 0 from 3, and that expectation becomes a weight on your shoulders that is, it's a heavy burden to carry. But that's the sport we play. We accept that and we acknowledge that we put ourselves in that position. But no, definitely, you can have a draft where you can, not necessarily the smaller teams, but just it's the way you start. I think that you get confidence from that. And that first week was a really tough week for us. Yeah, no, it's probably stating the obvious, but our dependence on how well and how badly we've done would have been a case of how well our top players scored runs, senior players doing well, and Ash played brilliantly today. If there was 1 or 2 more innings like today, then we would have sit in a different position. Similar with myself, 1 or 2 more scores where I batted through. Same with Quinny. Those are probably your 3 most senior players, and then the other guys are still young in their careers. Rassie has shown signs for us this year, and then Aiden is just starting off. But the big scores has been highly dependent on those top 3 the last 2 years, and if that happens, then we do well as a team. He said he wants to keep going, so I think you leave it to a great player to make the decision himself. That's how I see certainly great players almost planning the exit. So, if Hash is doing well and he still wants to play, then he'll keep playing. Obviously, performances would be important for him to make sure that as any of us in the team, that if you're not consistent putting the runs on the board and someone else is pushing out the team, then you're competing with someone else. It's probably still too early to tell. There will be a sitting down, I'm sure, after this World Cup where whoever decides what's the way forward, and that discussion will happen then.